Hello my friends, this is Scouting Free from Germany, and today I want to make a video to give you some tips how to go mountain hiking, especially for beginners and flatlanders. All you southerners out there, you know what I'm talking about. Alright, so I hope you enjoy the trip. I'm going to go way high here in the Bavarian Alps, and before we start, take a look at the preparations that I think you have to take care of if you go mountain hiking. Enjoy and have fun. Okay my friends, before we go in the mountains, I want to show you the minimalist kit that I'm gonna carry if I go mountain hiking. I make it short just to see what I carry. You can always carry more, but this is the minimal setup that I use. Okay. Here we got the hiking poles. They're a great addition. You really need them. I do need them. A hat, a container and a water bottle, 2 liters in a water bladder. Here we have another hat because the sun is coming out there. Here's some extra bits and bobs. Inside there is an extra flashlight. Some food here and there. My MSR pocket rocket, and some gas because up there is no way to make a fire. Spare clothes, some tent stakes, of course a first aid kit filled up with pain reliefs and all the stuff. Paracord, emergency bivvy, which really can save your life. A rain poncho, which can be used as a tarp too. Absolutely, the weather can change immediately. A knife and some tinder, if you want to start a fire for signaling, for example. A flashlight, an emergency blanket, hand warmers, a second skin inliner. If you gotta stay overnight and you use it in combination with the emergency bivvy, you can avoid condensation by using that, and you also add some warmth. So this both, they really weigh nothing. They're just as big as this, but they can save you. Of course you need the geographical card and topographical card too. A compass, a signal mirror, hand gloves. Here we have a very thick sleeve. So in the summertime, if you believe it or not, temperatures can drop in the mountains drastically. So with a great warm sleeve, you'll be at least safe. Then a ground pad, also as a signal device, very cool. Sturdy hiking boots, a functional t-shirt, hiking pants, which are made of lightweight, quick drying material, and solid hiking socks. So basically, this is my minimal kit that I take in my backpack when I'm going for mountain hiking. So another big thing where you really got to take care of is the weather report. I was talking to Tony, who has been living in this area since 70 years. He's an avid mountaineer, and he said, yeah, let's check the weather report. So we were checking the weather report, and I wanted to go on Wednesday, but as you might see, this is a weather warning forecast, and they say you will have rain, clouds, thunderstorms, hail, but for Thursday, which will be the day after tomorrow, they say it'll be pretty nice weather. So I was talking to Tony, asking him what he thinks, and he says, and he took a look at the local weather reports, and they were forecasting for Thursday a special kind of wind. We call it föhn. It's a very warm wind coming from the south, and he said if we have warm south winds, weather is gonna be pretty much fine. Anyway, if he wakes up in the morning tomorrow on Wednesday, he will take a look at the weather, because he says then he can pretty much predict how the weather will be on Wednesday. So right now my decision is more to go on Thursday, but if the weather changes overnight, then I will be heading on Wednesday, which would be tomorrow. So one really important thing is, please check the weather report and check it right before you leave, because in the mountains weather can change drastically, and therefore always check it. It's very important to talk to locals. In this case, I'm talking to Tony, who has been living in this area for 70 years and is an avid hiker, an avid mountaineer. And we now go through all the details of that mountain, of the trail, of the alternatives, where to go, where not to go, what to do if this happens, if the weather changes. So if you have the opportunity, talk to the locals. You just can benefit from all their experiences they had in their whole lifetime. Visual scouting is a very well-known technique by many mountaineers or climbers. Basically, you take your binoculars and you take a closer look at that mountain you want to hike. And then you draw yourself a detailed map, because you can already discover many things with your binoculars that you may encounter when you just hike up there. The second and most important reason is the weather can change so quickly, or the clouds can cover you completely, that you lose orientation. Having a self-drawn map with some remarkable landmarks can guide you through this cloudy environment and bring you back to your point of destination or where you started. So, if you're hiking upwards, tighten your shoes down to the middle section pretty tight, because your main weight is here. Then at this section you go across once, twice, you go across twice, tighten it, and let it loose a little bit on the top, so you have main power friction here. Okay, one big mistake that beginners in mountain hiking or flatlanders do is they absolutely underestimate gravity. So especially when you start your hike, you gotta go ultra slow. It sounds a little bit weird, but all the hikers and mountaineers that I met in my life in the mountains of the Black Forest, in the Bavarian and in the Swiss Alps, all those experienced people always said the same, and I completely agree with them. You gotta start super slow. You might think I ain't gonna get up there anytime if I move this slow, but you start very, very slow and then you get into your rhythm. So that rhythm has nothing to do with the rhythm on flat territory. You will be way more slower than you walk on flat territory, of course. So please start ultra slow, because if you rush it in the beginning, you will be exhausted after 1.5 hours. Your sugar will be burned out, you will be dehydrated, and your muscles will get sore and burning immediately. So the first half hour, 45 minutes, walk very, very slow, and then your body gets into the right rhythm to make it up there. For me, it's now about 1,000 meters of elevation that I have to get up to. No fence. So, in the preparation section, I was talking about visual scouting. Taking your binoculars, looking at the summit. We want to take a chance to get up there. And it's always amazing the first time you're standing right in front of it. There are some things that the binoculars did not catch up. So up there, this is where I gotta go the next 2.5 hours. Here, 1,675 meters summit. All right. We'll be above the tree line. Still an hour to go. So after a good hour hike, being halfway of the Hochfelln, which is the mountain that is called, I highly recommend for everyone to make a break. If you're a beginner or not used to mountain hiking, make your first break after 30 minutes. Just 5 minutes, rehydrate, drink something, eat something, just a little bit of energy bar or whatever, just to get your energy back. Because what you have to have in mind is you're always going uphill. And this costs way more energy than just walking on flat ground. If you want to test it, take your backpack and just go up the Sears Tower on the stairs. And that's pretty much what hiking in high alpine terrain is. And it is about 45 degrees to 60 degrees angles that you got to climb up. And this is not a triple A rated trail. This is I would say a B rated trail. So it can get even worse. So please take your breaks as soon as you think you need them. Get your blood sugar back on track, rehydrate, drink more than you used to drink in the flatlands. First of all, the air gets thinner, the sun gets way more intense, and you are working out way harder. So pretty much you're losing more energy, at minimum double the energy than hiking on flat ground. Okay, I didn't think I have to talk about it, but after watching many hikers coming through here with inappropriate footwear, take a look at this. If you really think you should not have some decent hiking boots going on mountain hiking trails, you will encounter this. This is basically solid rock, loose, no trail. You can twist your ankle really easy. It's going steep. And this is not as flat as it looks like. Oh, please do me a favor. Don't go up there with sneakers. Get yourself some decent hiking boots. But besides all these tips and tricks, one big thing, please don't forget about it. Just take a break sometimes. Take a look. That's what it's really all about. And after hiking several thousand feet upwards, this is what your reward is. It's worth it. Okay, so everybody who saw me eating s'mores and peach cobbler at the Bushcraft Rendezvous in Mississippi, we got something that is a little bit like that. And especially in Bavaria, here on the summits, there are cabins and they serve local special food. And one of them is called Kaiserschmarrn. And this is it. It's basically something like crumbled sweet pancakes. And this one is mashed apples and with a lot of sugar on it. And Tony told me this is the place where you get the best Kaiserschmarrn. So before I will go down again, I will eat now some Kaiserschmarrn. And of course we have some crazy, we call them Bergdohlen. Actually these are mountain ravens. And up here where there are a lot of tourists, they like to catch your food. And they are really, they can be annoying. Take a look at this. I mean, if I just do that, there he goes. And now he's waiting for more. I think that was my biggest mistake. So they're everywhere. And the next one, reminds me a little bit of Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. Hey guys, jetzt ist aber gut. So as soon as you make a longer break on the summit, what I always do is open up your shoes. Let air and blood come in them, in the feet again. Or even just take them off for a little while. So as you might see, the clouds are moving now from west to east. That means we don't have south-east wind anymore, now we have west wind. So Tony told me if the west wind is kicking in, bad weather is coming. Having that in mind, it's time for me to head down to my exit point because west wind is bringing bad weather. This is why it's so important to talk to locals who really know their area. And yeah, it's time to go. So hiking downhill has three big issues that many people do not consider. First of all, especially beginners think, well, now it's going downwards, it'll be way easier. Well, hiking downwards has a bad side effect on your knees and on the muscles of your of your chin bones down there. Here. Because the problem is that compared to walking up hills, your body weight has to be caught up by the chin bone muscles. And if you're not trained, you will feel them very bad, especially if you rush them. The next and most important thing is, although it seems to be easier to hike downwards, you don't see me running, because on these rocks here you will slip so easy and twist an angle, especially because you're moving downwards. You know, you're going forward like this, for example, and then your weight is full on that ankle. So you have to be very, very careful hiking downwards. Don't be Bear Grylls and try to run down or something like that. This is where most people get hurt. They thought they made it to the summit, now the rest is easy peasy. Most accidents in the mountains happen when people are descending, when they are going downhills. So have that in mind, and you'll have a safe and nice trip. You see, this is pretty steep. I'm not kidding. But it's awesome. One thing I want to show you too is, you see these white gravel plains here? One thing you definitely should avoid in general is, please do not wear headphones and listen to some music while hiking in mountainous terrain. There are several reasons. First of all, you need your ears for listening for avalanches. And we're not talking about snowy avalanches, we're talking about rocky avalanches. You might see right here, it has been raining all day long, all night long. So if there some rocks are loosening and they're falling down, you'll be in trouble. And if you cannot hide or run, and if you don't hear it, you will get hit by a rock and you will be dead or seriously hurt. Now it's the same thing with those gravel roads down there, you see. Sometimes it is an animal that is crossing there and it's loosening some stones and you get a little stone avalanche. If you don't hear it, it'll hit you. And the next thing, which is really important, sometimes you can hear thunder, especially in the mountains, miles and miles away. And then you know that the bad weather is coming. Just even before you even see any clouds, you could hear it. So please do me a favor, don't take on headphones, because you're going to miss essential warning signals. And on the other hand, you also do not get the fantastic sounds of the birds and the wind. I know it's annoying to tell you this over and over again, but especially if you're ascending, if you're descending, going downhill, you need to keep your concentration, because gravity is a bitch, and gravity pulls you down and wants you to walk quicker, and exactly this is where the accidents happen. And just let me show you this. It's going down there all the way. If you fall down there, you ain't gonna make it, period. If you slip and you fall, you're done. This is a 80-degree angle. There's no way you can hold up yourself. You will fall and you will die. So just saying that and being annoying, and I'm sorry for that, but especially if you're going downhill, you gotta fight gravity more, because it wants to pull you down, and it will. So I have now about 1 more hour to go, and then I'll be back. One thing I forgot to mention was, before you're heading in the mountains, always let somebody know which route you will take, when you will start, and when you're guesstimating you will be back. Sometimes you don't have cell phone access, and you should make let's say, an alarming point of time where somebody should really consider looking for you. So let's say you say, I'll be back at 6 p.m. or I'll call you at 6 p.m. and you don't call, let's say, about 8 p.m. then that guy should maybe, or that girl should start to worry and maybe call somebody to look after you. Because it doesn't have to be a big thing, but just tell somebody, I'm going this route, I'm starting then, and I'll go back then. Not much, but can save your life. So, let's talk about shortcuts for a second. You take a look here, you see kind of a trail going down, all the way down here. There's a fence, and that fence is there for a reason. And some smart asses thought, oh man, I can take a shortcut, walking down there and then coming to the first rescue place easier. From a geometrical point of view, yeah, that's true. But there's a reason why they put the trail here. From here, down there, here all along the side, and not down there. And if you have a little bit of knowledge about mountaineering, the reason is simple. You never walk down a V-shaped valley like this. You see it here? It's like a tunnel, a funnel. So if there's any kind of rocks or something like that coming down, and take a look at this one here. If shit is going down here, where do you think is all the rocks and the avalanches coming down? Exactly, here. If there are heavy rainfalls, where do you think will all the water gather and come down? Exactly, here. This is why you don't do shortcuts, period. Even if the trail looks like being made, there's a reason why there's a fence, and there's a reason why this is not an official trail. Because people don't know their shit. So, just short, no shortcuts, period. So this is a typical Bavarian pre-Alps mountainside. Yeah, this is the country of lederhosen. But like you might have seen on the summit, it gets serious. Still snow on the mountains, glaciers, all the stuff that you have seen back there in the southern horizon. Awesome. So, could you imagine a better place to make a cup of coffee and sitting in the wonderful sun in this environment? So I don't know if you can see this, but if you take a look at the sky, bad weather is definitely coming. Listen to the locals. But still enough time for the coffee. Okay, my friends, I hope you liked the video. The wind is picking up now, and definitely the weather is going to change. I hope you liked the video, you liked the tips. and hopefully you got some inspiration to go mountain hiking. And like I said, this is not the ultimate ratio video that will avoid any kind of dangers. There are so much unpredictable things that can happen in the mountains. But anyway, you gotta do your own research, you gotta learn on your own too. But I hope that these tips helped you out a little bit. And yeah, I had a blast. This is all from me, your Scouting Free from Germany. So 30 minutes right after I came home, this is what happened to the mountainside. So weather was kicking in, you couldn't even see the summit anymore, and it was raining like crazy.